Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's been a little bit since I've been on here. I've been suffering with whatever flu virus they're basically spraying on us and trying to kill us with this season. So, had a couple videos I wanted to do last week, but just wasn't not into shape to do that. So, what we're going to talk about today is the egg shortage and an idea of how you can overcome the egg shortage and basically, have eggs for life. So we're going to do that, and this is going to be a real simple video. I hope you enjoy it. And I'm just going to talk about a few things here real quick and get you going. So the egg shortage. Get you some chickens. Real simple. Being this is a preparedness channel, we do, I've talked about being self-reliant over the years and things like that. But this is your best bet to overcoming the egg shortage. And there they are in all their glory, looking for food, because that's pretty much what they do all day. So there's a lot of myths about this, and people will tell you how hard a work it is, and I'm not going to lie, getting started is where your initial time and investment and money is. So this is the coop that I have, basically. So I'm just going to go over this real quick, and I've done this video on this probably a few years ago, but I just want to get you guys an idea, because I have a few things here that I could show you that maybe could get you started. I'm not a big fan of free-ranging chickens unless they're safe, and where I'm at, they are not, because I have hawks and coyotes, raccoons, possums, stray cats, pretty much anything you could think of that likes to kill and maim chickens. So I basically keep them in this coop. It's roughly about 12 foot by 12 foot. Now, it does look a little bit elaborate, but it's maybe from here, but if you look close, it's really not. All the corner posts were all made from trees here on the property. They're roughly the same size. There's some mixed bag stuff. I chopped down what I could find, and that's basically what we went with. And then search out like Marketplace, Craigslist. I don't know what all you use in your areas. You might even have some like local farm trader stuff. I'm just kind of get a little walk around of this, and I have a little mini coop here I'm gonna show you too. But I bought the original setup here, and I'm just going to give you an idea. And I'm not saying you can do this all the time. I searched high and low for a while, but this original coop here is basically where they sleep at night and where they lay their eggs. It needs a little bit of work. It's been here for a few years now. I have the tires are there because I use them as kind of holding the tarp down when the weather gets cold. I do like to cover this thing to keep them protected. And my base needs some work. I'm just basically waiting for the weather to clear up a little bit. But so I picked this coop up here with this fencing, this lower fencing. As you can see, it's not the real heavy stuff, but it's you can use it for fencing. Some people use it around gardens, which I do. But I picked that fencing up with that coop for, I believe it was 150 bucks, which I know that sounds like a lot to get started, but one of those coops alone, probably from Tractor Supply or wherever Rural King, whatever you have local, I'm guessing are probably about 400 bucks now, maybe 400 or 500 bucks. And it was in actually really good shape when I got it. So, so what I did was basically just incorporated that coop where it was originally a self-contained coop where and I'll show you here, I built the entrance there. It's typically that coop would be like a standalone where the chickens can kind of peck around at the bottom, and but they can't get out of there. So it really gives them no exercise. They kind of get, it'd be a tight fit for a bunch of birds in there. And that coop, I could probably fit 10, maybe 12 birds in there, pretty comfortable. There's 4 nesting boxes. I've got 8 chickens right now, which I've got all local. I did not raise these from chicks. I just didn't have the time, and really just didn't want to go through all the hassle. But I may be looking into that next, just with it's getting a little harder to find the birds around here. So, and a lot of the wood, as far as like the 2x4s and that, a lot of that was reclaimed wood that I got from work, different projects that we've done, like crating material and things like that. So I don't have a ton of money invested in this outer shell. I bought a few of the 2x4s, the long ones that I needed. I had most of the short ones, and I did have to buy the wood for the door, and I did buy the chicken wire for the roof. So it needs some work. I use a tarp. I wish now that I had built a regular roof on this thing, because I've had to replace a tarp a couple of times, which it's not really that big of a deal compared to what some of the cost is of metal roofing and things like that. And then basically I just filled in the holes. I mean, around here, you can see at the top, some of that was a little bit different. But I put the tarp on for 2 reasons. Obviously the weather, and just keeps it drier in there, because it gets a mess. Even when it rains, it still gets in there a little bit. And I also have underneath that tarp is some chicken wire, as they call it. And I have that on there basically to try to keep some of the little birds out, but they still get in. But I want them protected, because the hawks will nest in these trees over here. And they will you know, basically look at these chickens as a smorgasbord. So what I did, I have that setting on a couple of solid pallets, which they're getting a little rough now. They're going to be changed during the spring. And then built the infrastructure first. I had everything in place, and then I got the chickens, which you can find. I don't know about Marketplace. I really don't spend much time on there, so I guess you could probably find them on there. I found some on Craigslist, and then just getting to know some people in the area, that somebody was offering some for sale as pullets, which are teenage chickens, is a good way to put it. They're not laying eggs yet, but they're not in the chick stage. So you can actually, I was able to put them out here. Didn't have to be incubated and things like that. So that's what I started off with. I started off with 6. Depending on where you're at, do a little bit of research into the birds that you're getting. These chickens here are all cold hardy chickens. There's some Australorps in there. There's a Rhode Island Red, which is one of the originals. I've lost 3 of my originals, so I'm down to 3, and then I got these 5 new ones here, which they are, I'm not, to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what those are mixed with. They're they came from a flock of free-ranging chickens of somebody we know, and they've got a few different roosters, so it could be different sizes. But as you can see, I put like some place-formed nest. They got you know, basically the water dish, all that stuff. You can find all that on Amazon, and it's relatively inexpensive. So you can get started with chickens pretty reasonable if you do a little bit of research and a little bit of hunting for supplies and things like that, which is basically how I did it. So I think the original chickens, I think I bought them for $10 a piece, I believe. And I think the second batch, they've gone up a little bit. I think I paid $15 for them. So I'm averaging probably right now, because they're all but like 2 are laying pretty regular. Some of my older hens are getting a little bit old, and I'm just kind of letting them live out their life. So I'm getting anywhere from 4 to 7 eggs a day occasionally. Mostly around 5 is probably the average at this point, which is pretty good for just 2 of us. So you're looking at, you know, 2 to 3, 2.5, 3 to 4 dozen eggs a week, depending on how good they're getting. And it's cold here, so they're still laying. Now, some of the accessories I've gotten on the outside, like I said, you can find deals on a lot of this stuff. That garbage can, for instance, I bought as a pair of other ones with 2 metal ones, I think for like 20 or 25 bucks for all 3 of them. Found them online, and it was actually from a horse farm out the road. Just didn't need them anymore, so picked them up cheap. Now this one I'm going to show you. This would be a good alternative. Now I bought this coop a couple years ago. Found it online. I bought it cheap. It needs a little bit of touch-up work. Now I don't use this. I haven't used it. I bought it cheap, and the reason I picked it up was my original idea was maybe raising small chickens in there at first, maybe a good place, or if I had a sick chicken, which I, knock on wood, I haven't. I mean, I've had a few die, just drop dead, but they haven't really been sick or anything. But this coop here will probably accommodate, you probably put 3 birds in there, maybe 4 comfortably, and they can stay in the bottom and just roam around in there. You have to obviously put the food in there. There's only one, there's a little nesting box on the back. But I bought this one online for, I think, 50 bucks. So, you know, the deals are out there. If you want to get a small flock started, something like this would get you going, to get to get your initial birds. But you'd want to probably add on to it. And, you know, you could take the front of this off, just like I did with this one here. And you could pull that wire out and attach that to a bigger outdoor pen. You know, it gives them a little area to run. Or you could put some fencing up if you're available and you can watch them during the day. You can, you know, basically keep the predators at bay to an extent, but it's not foolproof. I mean, there's foxes here. My neighbors have lost chickens down below. They have a whole bunch down there, but his free range, so they, you know, they'll come up missing, definitely. Between the hawks, because the hawks just fly over here all the time, and they know they're here, but they just can't figure out how to get to them, because this is actually pretty secure. I've never had a chicken get out of here, and I've never had anything get in. But I do keep it maintained as far as like the the outer perimeter. And basically the other stuff is just keeping it cleaned out. It's easy. I mean, it's not like you have to do it every single day. I do use the medium pine shavings that just kind of keeps it, maybe some of the mud down, and then I just clean up inside there every so often and just add to it as I need it. And it works also as bedding material in the coops where they lay in the coop, in the laying boxes where they lay the eggs. So if you're looking for a good way to get around this egg shortage and these ridiculous prices, this is the way to do it. Like I said, it's a little bit of an investment at first, but you could get yourself something just like this. Look online. You can find these in Tractor Supply, Rural King. I'm sure even Amazon, you could probably buy them, and they come as like a kit that you have to put together. So, and like I said, these ones I just bought already put together and picked them up pretty cheap. But so far so good. You will go through some periods in the wintertime where they may slow down laying because of the cold and the lower sunlight, but I really found it. Mine didn't really do that too much. I went through a spell where I didn't really get many eggs because this second batch were just too young. But I'll get you a close-up look of them in here. They're just they're kind of getting around in there, and I just threw some scratch grains in there for them to gives them something to do, and it gives them a little bit of a treat. And it's a little muddy. We've had some rain, but for the most part, they're good, healthy, stout chickens, and so far so good. But don't believe the fact when people tell you they're a lot of work, because they're really not. This initial building, this pen initially was a little bit of work and things like that, but it really wasn't that tough. I think we put this whole thing together in maybe 2 evenings for the most part. Maybe some touch-up stuff here, but building the door. But overall, really wasn't that expensive because, like I said, all the corner posts are just trees that I cut down here. But anyway, I'll leave you with that. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments and I'll answer them if I can help. But like I said, there's no egg shortage here. So, but see you guys on the next one. I hope that was a little bit informative, maybe inspired you a little bit. You can see them in the background there. But I hope this inspired you to look into, just not only just for eggs, but being for a little more self-reliant and growing your own food and things like that. We got garden season coming up. Between that, and if you have enough, if you have the space, you can get a few extra chickens. Grab a few. Maybe you can sell a few eggs and help offset the cost of feed. I really don't. I end up giving more eggs away than I really eat, but I like having the infrastructure in place. So yeah, do your research on what's good in your area. If you're like in warmer climates or really cold climates, certain chickens are probably going to work out better for you. And don't be afraid to dive in. They're pretty simple. They don't take a lot of care. You don't have to give them a lot of love and attention, as far as they're not really into being petted and cuddled and things like that. I'm sure some are, but mine aren't. They just do their thing. We have an agreement. They give me eggs, I give them food, and keep them safe. So anyway, hopefully this inspires you to maybe take matters in your own hands and grab a few chickens yourself. So if you like this video, give me a like, please, and share it with your friends. And if you'd like to see some more, for some information you'd like to see on something, I can help you out. I apologize, something's going by in the background. I don't know what in the world kind of car that is, but need some muffler work apparently. So I will see you guys on the next one, and once again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to you later.